Welcome back to the aisle for episode 50. So New York Bridal Fashion Week just passed us, and this is just an experience like no other. There's just no words to really describe it. It's a huge deal in the wedding world in general because you get like all of these fashion icons, you get a ton of vendors, a ton of publicists, and like people that are working for like the big name fashion magazines and online databases, and it's just like the who's who that are there. Sierra from our team went out to New York to see some of the lines from designers that we love so much, and she also met one of our brides out there who was shopping for a dress. She's an influencer, she's marrying an NFL player, big deal, cute girl. Everybody is like just kind of like humming over her, and it was just kind of neat to be able to combine the two worlds of like wedding planning and then bridal fashion. So we're going to unpack this experience a little later with Sierra in this episode. This is what happened to me the whole time with Nina. It sucks so much.
I feel like you need your water nearby.
I got it. It's right here. Okay, so let's do a little BTS recap. These last couple months have been super busy for us. As I had mentioned, Sierra was out in New York for New York Bridal Fashion Week. We had a really cool baby shower in Houston. So if you guys follow us along on social media, you probably saw clips of these coming out. And the baby shower is for like a really high profile client. Everything was kind of secretive for us and a little bit nerve wracking just because we didn't actually have communication with the client. So we didn't really know what to expect. And we work for a lot of high profile clients, but for this one, it was just a little bit higher and a little bit nerve wracking. But everything went out great. And I just couldn't really say enough good things about it. So, yeah. There's nothing else we really want to go into because we don't know details on it. So, because this is airing on Tuesday. Yeah. So. Okay.
So don't mess it up. Because you said it was really good.
It was really good. It was great. Okay, so let's get into more details with New York Bridal Fashion Week. So, Sierra, take us through the experience day by day.
I feel like I was in bed last night looking over content, and I was like, wait, what even happened?
How many days was I there?
Where was I? What day is it? I keep feeling like today's Monday. I'm like so confused. I don't know what's going on anymore. But it was amazing. So I got there Monday morning. Luckily, I did get into my hotel early because I begged them. I was like, girl, I gotta wash off my spray tan. I cannot be going to these fashion shows like this. I need to wash off this spray tan bad.
Which you look incredible.
Thank you so much. Shout out B Bronze Studio. Brittany, you're amazing. We love you so much. I met up with our client at Palace Couture for her to try on wedding dresses for the first ever time. That was our very first meeting of the trip. And it was honestly such an amazing experience. Like, I cannot say better things about Rebecca and the Jackson James team and Palace Couture. They, like, in the midst of the chaos of setting up for their show, they had other brides in there trying on dresses at Jackson James. She was so amazing, very much made us and Carolyn feel like we were the only people in the world, while she's literally like having models do their fittings.
Wow.
And just like insane things happening. We also ended up going back the next day to try on more dresses and do even more fittings, and they were quite literally setting up for the show. Like, drapes everywhere, people everywhere. Like, I'm talking, we were 2 hours before the show in that store getting dresses on Carolyn with Rebecca. Like, Rebecca is in the room with her, and just...
And
That's
Rebecca,
so cool.
like, she owns a store, or what is her
So
title?
Rebecca's the creative designer at Palace Couture.
Oh,
So she flew in
fun.
from Australia for
Okay.
the show and to meet with Carolyn.
What's the saying? It's like, you'll never...
Carolyn.
What's the saying? It's like, you'll never forget, like, the way people make you feel.
Yes. And
Mm-hmm.
truly, like, that's something that we talked about a lot over the last couple of days. Just with all of the other shows and designers and experiences that we had. Our experience with Rebecca and Palace Couture and Jackson James was unmatched, unbeatable, truly.
That's great.
So we started there. Then we headed over to, oh God, see, I'm like, I can't even remember my days anymore. What was after Jackson James? Oh, then we went to Berta for a fitting. Carolyn wore a Berta gown to the Berta show, which was obviously amazing. It was an absolutely stunning gown. She had tried on a little mini, and then she was like, this is the one. And I was like, I just feel like you need to try on this glitzy corset gown. Like, I just think that you need to put it on your body. And she did, and they were like, oh yeah, that's actually the one. I need you in that.
Wow.
So we did a little fitting with Berta, and then we went to the Nicole and Felicia actual
Did they dress
runway
her
show.
maid of honor too?
No, so her maid of honor didn't actually attend any
okay.
of the like shows.
Okay.
She was in China, I guess, and like was traveling all around. So she came to the Galia show with us, and then she came to do another fitting at Palace Couture. But then that was all she could make it to. Yeah. But I think there was some conversation about that as well. But she couldn't make it to all those things.
You should have been like, I'm the maid of honor.
I can make it. I can put me in a dress. I know. There were a couple of times that I was like, you guys want to throw me in that?
Right.
I could be in
Put
that
me
one.
in,
There was one of the models. I was like, we kind of look alike. I feel like I could take your place if something happens. Are you sick? Or
Like, my boss always says I'm a model.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Was she the only person that was dressed by them for the show, or were there people kind of just throughout?
You know, I don't really know. There was another girl there, looked super cute. I have no idea if she was just doing the most or if she was dressed by any of the
that's
designers.
awkward.
Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, she was in very bridal attire. Nobody else was in bridal attire, really, besides Carolyn, I think, when I think about it, besides this other girl. And, like, at one point at the Galia show, she, like, after the show, she, like, stood on one of the platforms, and her friend took a picture of her, but then other people started taking a picture of her. But I think that people just thought that maybe she was supposed to. Like, at Nicole and Felicia, we were taking pictures of Carolyn, and a guy walked by, and she was like, is she, like, an influencer or something? And we were like, what? And then he just, like, was like, is she an influencer? And we were like, yeah. And then he just, like, walked away, and then a random photographer started taking pictures of Carolyn. So I think people just, like, take pictures when they think they should take a picture of you.
I did that one time when I went to York Bridal Fashion Week. I was like all up in this girl's grill because I thought she was a model.
Yeah.
And one of the girls that I went with was like, Trista! And I was like, what? And she's like, she's not with the show.
Yeah.
Like, this isn't
It's
good.
confusing.
Yeah. I was like, oh.
Because people,
I'm sorry.
they bring their photographers. Like, Carolyn, we had a photographer with us.
Yeah.
Which was also very funny because there were a few times where people were like, that guy's like not even shooting the show. He's just shooting her because he was there to shoot our bride.
Yeah.
So that happened a few times. But I don't actually know if that girl was dressed by any of the shot designers.
Got it.
Does
Or
she need a
what
wedding
was happening there.
Right.
Maybe.
No.
I don't even know if she's a bride, to be honest.
Quick follow-up question. Was it Bronwyn from Real Housewives of Salt Lake City?
She was giving Bronwyn energy, honestly.
There's one housewife that only wears, like,
She only wears couture designer.
yeah.
Yeah, and she walks around in crazy
Costumes.
outfits. Yeah. Hey, don't call them costumes. She's gonna come for you if
I
she
know.
hears this.
Sorry, Bronwyn.
Bronwyn, I know you're listening. We don't mean it like that. Yeah, so I think Carolyn might have been one of the only ones, at least. There was nobody else doing a fitting when we went to go do hers. Only the models were doing fittings. That experience was also definitely a little crazy. That was a little hectic. We walked in and the lady was like, yeah, no, we're not doing that. Like, we're not open for you. Like, I don't know who you are. Like, I don't know why you're here.
Oh,
Yes.
Lord.
And we were like, this is super uncomfortable because we, like, actually just called. We had Lindsay literally call immediately before that, and they were like, we do not know what you're talking about. And Killen was looking at me, and I was like,
oh, no.
I'm not really sure.
Awkward.
So it was a little chaotic going on over there, but everything worked out in the end, and
Good.
we were styled and looked beautiful.
Amazing.
You're like, she's literally wearing.
No, literally, I'm like, she's supposed to be wearing one of your designs
They're
to
like,
your show.
no.
And they're like, we're not sure. And I was like, okay.
Oh my god.
But we figured it out. One
Well,
of
you
the girls
guys,
came
this
out.
happens in Fashion Week all the time.
Yes.
Where you're like, no, I'm supposed to be VIP, and they're like, shut down, boom, like
Yeah.
so humbling, and you're like, well, somebody told me I was. Like, I
Literally.
didn't make this shit up. So
Okay, but also devil's advocate. Imagine the amount of people that pull up and they're like, I'm VIP.
true.
Yeah.
So,
facts.
like,
we did when we went to the Berta
True.
show. There was like a line kind of down because we had just gone to Berta the day before, so like we knew where the door was. Like we kind of know where we're going. There was like a line a little bit down the street, and I was like, oh, that's not outside the Berta, and like the door was open for Berta to go into the building. So I was like, oh, I don't know, we'll just go in here.
Yeah.
So we like go in, the security guy like lets us in the elevator, and then someone comes like running after us and he's like,
Oh no.
hi, you guys are supposed to be in that line and like check in. And I was like, well, I'm already in the elevator, so I'm so sorry, but no, we're with Lindsay, Bridal Instaglam, and she's like, oh, okay, you're fine, just go up.
Oh my
so
God,
we completely
in
got the
line.
line.
Love it.
We completely got the line. That was like our major VIP experience. I was like, I'm so sorry. I had no idea. Like, they were so far down. There's so many shows like on that street. Like,
You would have done the same thing. Tristan's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
never wait in
There's
line.
so much going on all the
So
time.
Never wait in a line if you don't know what the line is.
I
Yeah.
See what's going on.
Yeah.
Assess the situation.
the door was
going
open. The
on.
guy let me in the elevator. Like,
Yeah.
okay, I'm going in.
And there's so many times we've gotten like press passes for things before too, and like the press pass line is way different. Some years they have it, some years they don't, and so it's tricky and it's confusing. But at the end of the day, I mean, it all really works out.
Yeah, I'm also like so respectfully. My bride is in a Berta gown. I don't think she's gonna be waiting in your line.
Yeah.
So respectfully.
Exactly.
She got this custom fit to her yesterday,
Right.
so I think we're just gonna go ahead and go
we're
in. But yeah, day one was great. We ended our day at the Nicole and Felicia runway show, which was beautiful. We were unfortunately 1 minute late, so we did not get our front row seats.
It happens.
It happens. It was very chaotic. Again, it's a chaotic week. It's very hard to find things. We were like on the wrong side of the building. The lady was like, there's valet on the other side of the building. There was no valet when we got there, so I was like, well, I don't think we're on the right side of the building still. So just very chaotic, but it was a beautiful show that we did get to see, so very glad for that. But unfortunately, we didn't get our front row seats on that one.
Sorry for all the housewife references, but it's making me think of Kathy Hilton walking.
Okay, speaking of Kathy Hilton, you guys, Galia really reminds me of Kathy Hilton. I don't know why. I don't know what the vibe was.
I mean, Kathy Hilton's iconic as shit.
They're both so iconic, and I was looking at her, and Galia like does not really speak a lick of English. Let me make that very clear. I tried to talk to her. She was like, okay, and I was like, okay. Caroline tried talking to her. We have like little clips of them kind of communicating and hugging.
Was there a bald gentleman?
There was.
Age? So that's her designer.
Yeah.
Shannon Shipiv or Sharpio or something. I'm
Yes.
butchering the name, so sorry. But yeah, he's the designer.
Yeah, so he was out there for a little bit. They both kind of were like, here a little bit, gone a little bit, here a little bit, gone a little bit. Again, it was there was a lot going on. They also definitely had a bigger turnout than they were expecting. Like at Galia, I was standing on the sofa. I was like, I gotta get up there. Like, we were standing on sofas. But Galia honestly was a beautiful show. That was probably one of my favorites. It was very, the theme was like whimsical. There was like unicorns and stages, and they were very interactive and moving around. So that was probably an amazing show. But yeah, I don't know. For some reason, Galia was very much giving me Kathy Hilton vibes, and I love both of them. They're both icons, so it was great. It was fabulous. Galia was our first on Tuesday, and then we went to Julie Vino, which was just like a preview. So it was nice to go over there. Batman. He was great. It was nice to go from Galia, which was a beautiful, beautiful show, but very energy to Julie Vino. We walked in and I was like,
very organized,
very calm.
She's always been like that.
In there because in the preview it was like very. I can take a breath. Like you can walk around.
Yeah.
You can I can see things. So that was a very nice change.
She doesn't have as much of a following, and it
there was,
surprises
not
me
many
because
people.
you see her stuff and you're like,
It was gorgeous.
oh wow. But it's just not everybody knows Galia, so
Yes,
that's
exactly.
Galia and Berta. That's everybody knows, and they just
Yeah.
want a piece of it. So
Yeah, and that's what I told my bride too. I was like, everybody. First of all, everyone's wearing Galia right now. I feel like I'm on bride number 4 in a Galia dress. Everyone. So it was. That showed at the Galia show was like everybody wants to be here. Everybody wants to see what's coming out next. We did see the $1 million dress. IRL, which was absolutely insane. Never seen anything like it.
Right.
Absolutely nuts. The model who was wearing it was like, we were outside and she's like, I'm so nervous to be in this dress. Like, I don't know what to do.
I'd be scared.
Yeah.
She's beautiful.
Gorgeous.
She actually messaged us on Instagram and said, can you tag me
I
on
saw
this
that.
video? Yeah. I was like, ooh,
I saw
you're
that.
so gorgeous. But a lot of models do that.
Mhm.
Weirdly enough, we have a lot of following. So when you look at our stats on Instagram, we have obviously the biggest following in Phoenix, and then the next is New York. And I think it's because of the amount of times we've gone out to New York.
Yeah.
And people, it's just a different kind of like hustle culture out there, to the sense where you want to connect with people.
Yes.
And people are going to repost everything that you do. It's just so different than it is on the West Coast. Like,
Sure.
people are just chucking and jiving like crazy. And when she had asked us to tag her, it reminded me, I'm like, y'all are just such good connectors out there. So that was
They're
really cool.
fast.
They're fast. Yeah, it was so funny going to the different shows and I'd be like, oh, I saw that model there.
Yep.
Oh, I saw you earlier. Oh, I saw you. I'm like, wow, I'm just following you around everywhere. Same thing with like some of the photographers. We were like driving through the city and I was like, oh, I've seen that guy like 10 times today. I'm sure he's going to the show we're going to right now.
Also, your angles and like just like the like footage that you have are literally insane.
Yeah.
That's
I tried to get up in there.
You
I
were
tried
in
to get
there.
up in
We were
it.
talking about it. Tristan was like, I don't
I'm
know
talking
what settings
about
this
in
girl has on her phone, what camera she's using, but damn.
No, but it
I'm
looks
talking about
so
in it,
good.
which is so funny. When we were at the Berta show, there was a man in his bald spot. So sorry if you're listening, but all I could get was his bald spot and his camera. And Karina, who works with our client, she was like, give me your phone. And she was up. Like, she literally, like, arm in front of, at one point, her arm was in front of a photographer's camera. And I was like, oh, she's
did not
ruthless.
care.
She's like,
every
I'm
man
getting
for
you the
themselves.
content. I was like, I love you, queen. Like, I was like, so we got it. But yeah, we went to Julie Vino, and then we headed up to Nardos, which was very interesting at Nardos. I don't think any of us really knew what to expect. We walked in. There was some like blue dresses on the second. There was 3 levels, and on the second floor was like some blue dresses. And we walk in, and Carolyn goes, "Oh, mother-in-law dresses." And I was like, "Oh, I'm not sure if that's what they're for, but yeah,
Yes.
that works great."
Gotta be for the mama-in-law.
I was like, perfect. And then they had some like green and pink dresses, which may have found one of her bridesmaids' dresses.
Okay.
At Nardos, which was great. That again, very chill vibe. They had like tea and crumpets. It was like
Cute.
very nice chill. We were up by Central Park. It was nice to kind of like again, take a breath, take a minute, escape all the craziness. And then after that, we did some street pics for Carolyn, and then headed back down to the like Greenwich Village area, and then just like reset and got ready for Berta, which was supposed to be a black tie event. And we'll get all up into that nitty-gritty details. But I did put on my nicest gown that I own to go to Berta. And then we headed back to Palace Couture just to kind of see the end of the Jackson James Palace Couture show. Which,
that
again,
one looked incredible.
I know that I'm really pumping Palace Couture Jackson James right now, but we walked into their store when they had everything set up, and I was like, everything about this is giving BTS. Like, the charcuterie set, like everything, it just was like, this is the first one that I've been to that I'm like, this feels very aligned with our brand, you know? It was like, we would have thrown this party.
Yeah.
It was the vibe it was giving, for sure.
Nice.
So yeah, honestly, Rebecca and the Palace team is probably my new favorite. They've beaten everybody for me.
Good. That's really good. What is one word to describe the experience?
Gosh, I like indescribable. Like I think that you really truly have to be there to get it. It's an absolutely insane experience. The wedding world is so nuanced. It's so like niche. If you're not in it, you don't really get it. So it was really fun to be in a space with a lot of people who get it.
Yes.
And are so
a lot of
excited
crazies
about
like
it.
us.
Yeah, literally a lot of crazies. And I was really, honestly, I was so anxious to go. I was like, what am I going to wear? Like, I'm with a bunch of fashion people. Like, what's it going to be like? Like, is it going to be every man for themselves? Like, what's it going to be like? Like, is it going to be every man for themselves? But honestly, at most of the shows, everybody was so sweet.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so sweet. This guy let me up on the sofa. He was standing there and he was like, no, you get up there. Like, the only thing, he was like, just will you make sure my jacket's okay? Like, at one point he was like, am I in your way? Like, do you need to get a better angle? Like, can I help? Like, everybody was so sweet. Everybody's there for the same reason. Everybody's like obsessed with the same thing that you're obsessed with.
That's so cool.
And it was just really indescribable. I just was like, I can't even believe I'm here.
Yeah.
It was really just a crazy experience.
Yeah. You really never quite understand where you get the energy from either, because you're going from super early in the morning to super late at night. The times when I went out there was pre-COVID. I think one year I was single one year my marriage was on the road, and we went out all night. So it was like on top of like all day. Literally, this is why I'm such a big fan of Jimmy Choo heels, because you can literally walk the streets of New York for 12 hours straight and your feet are fine.
Good.
And then we go back to the hotel room, reset, go out to like an amazing dinner and party all night, and then sleep for a couple hours and go right back at it again. And it's like, it was just so fun. Like, it was just such a different experience. Like,
it's so cool.
Yeah.
I'm so happy for you. I'm so excited that you got to do all of this. I feel like it's such a cool experience and like a little bit of a personal, if you will. Obviously, you went to college there, so I feel like it's cool that like now going back, I almost feel like it's like a full circle moment.
I know, that was crazy. I think that was part of my like about going was like, oh my god, I'm going back to New York. I literally fled the city when I graduated college. 2 days after I graduated, everything was packed up, ready to go. I was like, let's go. I am ready to get the heck up out of here. Like, I'm a West Coast girly. I gotta get out of the city. My anxiety is so bad. Like, I gotta go.
I gotta get away from these street rats.
Literally. And the literal rats. Like, get me out of here. And I have not been back since. So that was definitely part of my, like, oh my god, I can't believe I'm, like, going back. But I have never felt more, like, myself in that vibe. Like, I feel like I like instantly put on my all black outfits again, and I just was like, I'm ready to go.
Here.
Like, I'm here. I feel in my element. That was like the way that I'd always wanted to live in New York City growing up. And then I went, and it was a very different experience than what I thought it was going to be like. And this experience this time around was like the way that I had envisioned.
That you thought it was going to be
in New York City in my head.
Yeah.
So cool. So yeah, that was definitely a little full circle experience for sure that I loved.
That's good. What are some bridal trends that we can expect to see a lot of? Like, was there any kind of common thread where you're like, I see a lot of this coming up?
You know what I was really surprised about is, because I feel like this is already kind of a trend. Well, it is actually. There was still a lot of corsets going on. A lot of corsets, a lot of drop waists, which I love. I'm very into that. I think it's very flattering for everybody. But I was pretty surprised to see that we're still kind of following that trend.
I think they're leaning heavy into corsets, but I think that it was satin and now it's lace.
Now it's lace. Yeah. Everything was lace. Yeah, really, actually, pretty much everything was lace or like a rhinestone. Definitely lot less satin this year. There was a couple of the shows that we saw, I think, kind of overplayed the satin, I'm not gonna lie. And overplayed like some of the similar designs. Like, there was a show that we went to that I was like, okay, I feel like that dress has come around 3 times now, but it's 3 different dresses.
Yeah.
And it was I'm never a big fan of like the big 3D floral on your dress. You know what I mean? That kind of gives like cake topper to me.
Oliver, or what is it? Oscar de la Renta. There's a lot of like the big floral kind of patterns.
Yes. I'm not the biggest fan of that. But yeah, definitely a lot of lace, corset, drop waist, a lot of like buttoning. I was seeing
like a vintagey, like royal, regal kind of.
Yes, very royal. I think this
great.
season is very, very royal. Like we were talking about at Berta, the veils and the capes and the headpieces were very much giving like royal cathedral vibes. Which was gorgeous. I mean, those were absolutely insane.
I almost feel like it's giving, like, I feel like Kourtney Kardashian like almost like was the trendsetter for this. Like everything almost like reminds me of her look.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, very much so. There was also a lot of, I mean, obviously we see a lot of minis for like dancing and stuff like that, but I feel like I saw a lot of minis.
They're like leaning heavy into the multiple dresses.
Yes. Like, yeah, definitely multiple outfits, and that's something we talked about a lot with our bride. I was like, oh, I'm making you change at least 3 times. So sorry about it, but you will have
2 is great, but like you're an influencer, so we're going
and multiple days of events, like that's at least 5 outfits.
Oh, I know. We were in the car on the last day, and I was like, guys, we haven't even started. Like, we have way more outfits that we have to start planning. Like, she's really gonna do it all out, which I'm really excited for. But yeah, definitely very regal, very lace. It just was so gorgeous. I just am like thinking about all of them in my head, and they just were all so stunning. We definitely saw a lot of like beading going on. very dainty lace.
Mm-hmm.
Also Bridgerton hips. We're really into the hips right now, which I love. I love a tiny little waist and a big hip. That's like impeccable.
Right. Thank God. I've always hated the mermaid style, and it was in for so long, and I'm like, ooh, get me to the ball gowns. I want to look like Cinderella. I want to see it all, and like I feel like that's what's really.
I know. I think I only saw maybe 1 or 2 mermaids, and it was from the same designer. I don't think we saw really any other mermaids. Yeah.
What are some details about some of the designers that you met? So you went into some details already, but kind of give us like more on personality type. Did you meet Berta at all, or Mir, her son-in-law?
So we did not meet Berta. She was like up on the stage for a little bit, but we did not meet Berta.
Was Mir there at all?
So no. I don't know if maybe because we went to the 6:30. There was a 5 and a 6:30. I don't know if maybe because we went to the later one. Mm-hmm. It was a very interesting experience. I mean, honestly, everybody was very confused the whole time about what was kind of going on. Oh. And then by the time it ended, like it started so late that we kind of had to rush out of there to get to the next one. Yeah. Just because of how our schedule had ended up. Berta came on at the very end and stood up there for a little bit, and then literally everybody left. So we didn't even speak to Berta. I didn't see Mir. Not sure if he was there and maybe just at the earlier one, but we did meet Galia. Obviously, we met Rebecca at Palace Couture. I did not see Julie Vino. Nicole and Felicia, did not see her. She had a lot of family there, so she was kind of like with her. We were like kind of close to her. I said hi, but she was very much with her family.
Oh, okay.
That was really it. Like there was honestly, I was pretty surprised about the lack of designer face. Yeah. Again, Galia and her designer were there and kind of tried to talk to them, but she doesn't speak English, so it was a lot of head nodding, a lot of hellos, a lot of smiling. She was also, I think they had called somebody, they had like a, whatever language she speaks, there was a publication there who was interviewing her the entire time, who I think had asked, had asked them to come because they speak the same language, so she was pretty much with them the whole time. So yeah, unfortunately, we honestly didn't really meet too many of the designers, which I was pretty surprised about, especially with Berta, to be honest, because my bride was in Berta.
Yeah.
So I was pretty surprised that was not like an experience that they had tried to make sure that we had, was to meet Berta. And then even with Galia too, we had kind of been working with their PR team. And I don't think the PR team was there, or if they were, like I couldn't find them. So that was kind of another surprise to me, that I was like,
where are the people?
Yeah, where are the people? Because we've been working with you to set these things up, like directly with your people, knowing that who my bride is and that she's coming for this. So I was definitely a little surprised by that for sure.
That is a surprise, because in the past when I've gone to, that's been the biggest thing, is like connecting with the designer. Galia I have never met, but Shannon has always been a very prominent face, and then with Berta I've never met, but Mir has been a very prominent face. And like in the past, for years and years, he's out there shaking hands, kissing babies, the whole nine. Like
you like messages with
like just very direct messaging. And Berta has always been known for their shows. They've always had like some wow moments. They've always kind of done it, but I didn't see any of that this year. You know, I wasn't seeing that, so I'm not sure kind of like what the change has been. And then Galia has always done showcases. So like all the models in a dress, and you can like video them and have them do like, you know, like stand up or sit down or twirl around, and you can like video them throughout. And they've always been in like different settings. And so for them to do a show this year, that was cool because it was so different.
Yeah. They did a little bit of that after. The girls all took their dresses outside, and a lot of the photographers were like posing them and having them move around and chasing them down the streets. It was really
the best. That was really cool for content. Yeah.
That was really cool to see. Just for reference, we can cut this if we want, but when we got to Berta, because we were at the 6:30, when we got to Berta, one of the photographers who had left the 5 o'clock was like, "Wow, you look amazing," to Carolyn in the Berta gown. And we were like, he's like, "Are you going to Berta?" And we were like, "Yeah." And we were like, "How was it?" And he was like, he literally goes, "Awful." And I thought he was joking, because we kind of like giggle, and he was like, no, I'm being serious. Like,
oh no.
He was like he was like, the dresses are amazing, but so disorganized. Like the way that they have it set up, like it's 5 girls in a row, just like on a stage, and then you're like semi-circled around them, so you can only really get the people who are right here in front of you. So he was like, as a photographer, I couldn't get any of the girls that are over here. Which, like with Galia, obviously they're very spread out, but they're moving around throughout the part. So every girl is going to be on every platform at any given time in that dress, so you can see them in that outfit. Berta, they walk out, they're in a straight line, they're there for a little bit, and then those 5 girls walk off, 5 more girls come on in different dresses. So you were kind of never really getting.
That's such a bummer.
Who is in charge of like do they have like event planners, or like who's in charge of like the flow of everything?
Usually it's their creative team, and usually the designer has a really big handle in it. It's different than like when we set up an event. Like there's not like an outside force that's doing it, which there might be some pretty good benefit in it in hiring out, because usually it's just their internal team that's doing it. And so from an event perspective, a lot of times I'm either like super inspired about like a lighting design, a music choice, or like some kind of choreograph, like, you know, the flow for what's happening. But then a lot of times I notice like a lot of marks that are missed.
Yes.
So for instance, like the type of chairs that are there, the spacing, which you got to fit a lot of people in, the flow for how the people are walking, the lighting, that, you know, so a lot of times you're noticing those kind of things as you're seeing it, and you're like, dang, I would have done this, and this different.
Yeah.
So maybe it's something we just pitch to the designers after and be like,
honestly,
let us help you.
I feel like every single time, like in the past year, because we pay attention to so many details, now whenever we go to events, we have like takeaways.
It was like all I could focus on.
Yeah.
All I could focus on was like, I literally at one point we were standing at Berta, and I was like, I hope they turn those spotlights on. Like there was like 2 spotlights that I was like, wait, those aren't even on. And then there was like, there was a lot of things that I was like thinking
a lot
about,
of
with
misses.
like lighting, just like the guest experience.
Well, so the videos that you showed of Berta, they're up against like a champagne colored drape, and it's drab and dim, and I was like, dang, like this is weird that this is Berta, because usually my videos and everything are popping from them. Like I'm like, dang, they take so much care in the models that they choose, and like down to like the details, but I just didn't see that from the videos this year. And I was like, maybe because I'm not there, but like it was the background choice was interesting. I'm like, that was drab. Like
I was very, very surprised. And like we got there, I mean, like I said, we cut the line, so we were like one of the first people in there. We thought we had like a great spot. We were like right by the stage, and then they started the show about 15 minutes late. And when they finally started the show, a member of their team came on the stage and was like, you all look amazing facing this way, but you're actually going to go ahead and face the other way for the first part of this. And I was like, wait, what? And we had to turn and face the other way. Nobody could see the screen. There was just a projection on a different set of draping to give us like the background, I guess, like the first like video that they show. Not sure why it couldn't have been on the same draping, because then nobody could see it, and we all had to turn around and then turn back around. Like I was like, wait, what's going
on?
And like there was nothing to point out that like that's where you would be looking first. But also like I don't want to be looking at the screen. Whoever wants to be front row of the screen wouldn't be able to get front row for the show. Do you know what I mean? Like it just didn't really make.
It wasn't thoroughly thought through. Also, running late for a show is big. There was something wrong.
I was like, what is going on?
Because think about models' time.
Yeah.
So you're paying overtime now for everybody.
Ooh.
Like there's just like so much. You're disrupting the flow for everybody else's shows they have to go to.
Well, exactly. I was like, I literally was like, you guys, we must leave.
Yeah.
We must leave. And
Take 4.
I was like, we have to go. Like, whether or not the show finishes, we must leave by this time. Like, I need us out of here. So yeah, it was definitely an interesting experience. We were stuffed like sardines in gowns. Photographers were sitting on the floor, crisscross applesauce. Also, I was told black tie. Yes, very, very hot in there. I was told black tie, and like, there was a lot of people definitely not in black tie. There's somebody in like shorts and a t-shirt, and I was like,
oh,
well, I'm so glad I went and bought these outfits.
Right.
Like,
that's such a bummer. And you know what? So our next part of this episode is going to be attending events that are black tie and making sure that the service and everything kind of matches it. Before we get into that, what is one piece of advice you would give to someone that's planning to attend New York Bridal Fashion Week?
Be prepared for craziness, and also take multiple people with you. There was a lot of times that I was like, oh, I wish I had somebody else to like go over there and get that angle, or like even be able to capture me. Like when I was like at one point I was talking to Galia, I was like, well, this is great, but like my bride was somewhere else and her camera crew was somewhere else, and I was like, well, nobody's capturing this.
Yeah.
Do I take a selfie
You're
with
like,
Galia, or like what do I do right now? Because like I don't want to be too weird about it.
Yeah.
So definitely like make sure you get all the content. You probably need multiple people to get all the content. And just don't be afraid to like really shove yourself in there. Like that's the vibe of it, is everybody's just shoving themselves in there. You might think that like that person knows them because they just walked up and are taking a picture and talking to them, but I guarantee you they do not know them. So just go put your face out there. I was giving people the very first one at Palace, I was like, I want to give her my business card, but I don't want to feel too pushy and weird, and I don't know. And I was just like, girl, here's my business card, like, in case you need it, I don't know. And then I just started doing it, and everybody was like, oh my god, this is great, like, thank you.
Yeah.
So definitely just, like, put yourself out there, because everybody else is doing it, so don't be afraid to do it, too.
That's true. It's definitely not a time to be shy and reserved.
Yeah.
At all.
Because, otherwise, they're not going to ask you. They don't care about you, respectfully. They're not going to be like, oh, what are you doing here?
Exactly.
Would you like to speak to me? They're like,
Ariana, what are you doing here?
Yeah.
That's so good. So as I had mentioned, our next kind of segment of this show is going to really take us through attending a black tie event and being all dressed up and making sure that everything kind of fits together. And the reason why we're kind of marrying it with the Fashion Week recap is just because of what Sierra was talking about with the experience at Berta. So here you have this high fashion designer, one of the most sought after designers. And this is not a knock on the brand by any means, because they don't miss. So let's be real. So maybe a fashion show wasn't perfectly curated, but like, let me tell you, the designs and like the way that they do things, they don't miss. So again, it's not a knock on them by any means, but like, let's just talk about what it takes to have a black tie event, require guests to show up in ball gowns and tuxedos, and making sure that you're really kind of like getting the mark on that experience throughout. So let's kind of go through a few things of this. Aaliyah, what is your take on black tie events and the service that needs to come along with it?
Well, it just needs to be a dynamic duo, because I feel like the guest experience is everything. So I feel like from the beginning, like the attire kind of like sets the tone. So automatically, if you're not delivering after that, it just doesn't make any sense at all.
It's true. It's like how I always say, like, I don't understand early ceremonies. And, you know, don't come for me because everybody has an early ceremony. So a lot of times it's unavoidable. But to me, it's just the weirdest thing ever to have a 4:00 ceremony, require black tie. Guests are arriving at 3:30. To me, that's like afternoon snack time.
Yeah.
And people are like dolled out to the nines in ball gowns and like the most crazy designer whatever in tuxedos. And then now they need to scrunch in the super hot sun and find a place to sit.
Yep.
It's just like, it doesn't go.
You guys know how I feel about this. I got a lot of hate from you haters. Just kidding. My last time that I gave my thoughts on this, but we feel the same. I just don't think that it's necessary all the time, unless you're gonna give them the whole
actual experience.
Yeah.
Yep. And even just having guests pull up and like there's no valet. Like it's like if when you're in a certain outfit, you need to be catered to, and you need to have the service element just impeccable. So valet is a must. And then guests are coming in, and what is your opinion from that experience? Like after they're arriving, they need, like, what do you think?
There should be someone standing there, tray passing a glass of champagne, or like giving them something. Like they should be automatically, like it should be like one thing after another, like, oh, boom, 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 boom. Oh, tone set.
Yeah. You look special. You want to feel special. You get into the ceremony area, like probably no white folding chairs. Like, what kind of chairs did they have at Berta? Was it like?
Well, there was no chairs. In my for me, when we were there the day before, there were a lot of ghost chairs.
Oh, okay.
But I didn't get there was no chairs.
There was no chairs
at the show that I attended, which I was partially confused about because I was like, I did see a bunch of chairs here yesterday.
Chairs.
So I'm not sure what happened to those, but we didn't get chairs, which is part of
the service aspect. Yeah,
because I don't think I should like somebody's stepping on the train of my dress because we're so jam packed close together.
Mm-hmm.
I also think that like I don't ever really do this, and I should probably be better about that. But like I was thinking like it was so cold before we went, and luckily our client had a car, but I brought a jacket with me because I was so cold, and I got to keep it in their car. But we are in New York City, so if they didn't have a car, I would have to wear that coat inside and then just like hanging out my arm. No coat check. Everybody's just kind of like holding all of their things, fumbling over it with their glass of champagne, trying to take their content, like very, it wasn't giving black tie in that experience, which again, I think that I probably should be better with my guest experience and making sure that I do have a coat check, because I think that's somewhere that I flop a little bit on wedding day, but that was something that I noted as I was like, if I had my jacket, I'd be really annoyed right now, but I needed my jacket because it's cold outside.
Because it's so cold, so having like that coat check. And then I think another thing too, there's so many times when people like to do like trendy food service. So they'll do, I mean, I don't really see buffets anymore, but like food stations. And it's cool, don't get me wrong, but like something just really doesn't fit when again you have a girl in a ball gown and she's carrying a plate. Like it just doesn't work.
Yeah.
You know, so that service element again, like maybe if there's like pasta hors d'oeuvre and it's like a small little bite, that's fine. But after that, it just doesn't make sense anymore. You know, then food needs to be serviced to the guests.
And I'm very big on food service. That's like coming from catering. That is something that every single wedding we do, I'm like watching hardcore. For black tie especially, like you have to have a synchronized service. There's nothing that drives me more insane. So good. And when like two people at this table have their food and everybody else does it. Like I'm talking like I want you walking around the table, giving the nod, everybody drops at the exact same time. I don't like a white glove because I think they look ugly, but white glove service without the glove, in my opinion.
Absolutely. What you're serving is a big deal. You know, again, if I'm showing up and I'm super fancy, I want like fancy shit there, you know, like I don't want something that is not well done. And I don't think that is to be confused with doing things creatively, because if I were to be given, you know, a synchronized service and there's like this silver top that comes off my plate and there's like fried chicken and french fries, I'd be geeks. I'd be so excited. But like it's the way that it's done and the way it's presented. But now if there's like a rubbery chicken breast and like things just don't look cooked well, then, you know, there's a problem. And I feel like weird about that personally. Okay, what about like music? Like what's kind of like setting the tone for music? What do you think?
I just love a live musician, like just like something that's like romantic, just like I feel like there should just be something playing. I feel like the guest flow is so important too, so like if we don't have these things when guests are coming in, it just feels like what's happening, what are like you don't want people to be like, what am I supposed to do, where am I supposed to go, like everything should just be very seamless. So I feel like the music component is a really good factor in that.
There's nothing that like tweaks me out more than when there's no music playing. Like I don't care if the musicians are transferring over, like put a background playlist on. Like
there should always be something
playing because, like you said, it very much gives the moment of like, wait, what are we supposed to be doing?
What's
when
happening?
You're the guest, like, am I in the right location? Is this like what's next? And definitely, a live thing. I think just like live music helps you get into the like emotions of it all.
Absolutely.
And really feel where you are.
And the right volume is key. And then if they're performing, that's even better. You know, like all of those details are so much. Okay, what about kids?
Well, hot take, but I don't think kids ever belong in a wedding, whether it's black tie or not.
Right.
Sorry to your kids out there. I'm at the courthouse. No, I just think that kids are meant to be kids, and they're not. They're meant to run around and have fun and play, and that's not the environment.
Unless you're like in the wedding.
Yeah.
Or like I think sometimes there's like a special circumstance. Also, maybe we're being haters because maybe chime in because we don't have kids. Like, what is I don't know, but
I don't really want my kids if I'm dressed up. I like to kiss them goodbye and then come back and see them later.
Yeah.
Just because I'm dressed up. And when I'm around my kids, whether it's the baby or the oldest one, they need things, you know. And so I'm like not focused on being poised or like enjoying the situation. And so I think that's just something like black tie affair. I think kind of goes hand in hand with adults only. I think that's pretty safe to say.
Yeah, I feel like usually when we see kids at black tie, our brides are pretty good about having like a nanny come pick them up like right after ceremony. So like they're only there for like family photos to play their part in the ceremony, and then they're gone after that.
Yeah. Well, because I just think kids are meant to have fun, and like they're not. They don't want to sit there being well behaved. Like they don't want to sit there in this little mini suit, and they're just not having a good time. Like they're meant to go run around. Just let them go. Let them go play. They can be on property, but let them go play with the kids and go color and stuff.
Yeah.
Because that's what they want to be.
It's true. One thing that I think a lot of people don't think of is spacing and seating and where people are. So again, you're in a big ball gown or else you're in like a very fitted tuxedo. Like your range of movement isn't huge. So like don't make people go and jump through hoops in order to get from one place to another. So again, something that you kind of experienced at the show, spacing and like where people are, don't cram them in, you know. I think those are huge kind of details.
I think there's also other things that just like make guests more comfortable, like if it's really hot outside, like having umbrellas or fans or whatever. If there's grass, like having like the heel stopper so your shoes aren't like, it's not hard to get there. Like just thinking about things that are just making everything as seamless as possible.
Yep, I think so too.
For ceremony.
And then what about like departure details? Like what do you think goes into like a good departure?
Let me tell you about our exit.
Okay, let me hear this.
So as I said, we had to rush out of there. So when we were leaving, we were like, oh, let's go a little bit. Like Berta came out, we did the whole thing, right? She's on stage. Everybody's kind of like wrapping up, the lights are going on. So we're like, let's go. Like, so we can like get out of here pretty quick. We go to the entrance.
Oh, that's so nice.
We just got a message from Jackson James as we're speaking.
We're talking about
we go to the entrance, and the lady was like, oh, are you trying to leave? And I was like, am I being held hostage right now? What's going on? And I was like, yeah. And she was like, oh, the exit is that way. So we had to like cut back across the entire event.
Oh, Lord.
The exit was down the flights of stairs. We're on the 4th floor. Not terrible. But let me remind you, I'm in a black tie outfit. And I am now walking down a dingy stairwell from the 4th floor.
My goodness.
Line of people. Just a trail of people. Me and my girls were the line. We were at the beginning of the line. We started the line, which was a trend of the entire couple of days that we were there. Wow. People lining up behind us. But
they're like, she knows what she's doing.
Yeah. But I just was like, this is a crazy exit. Like, I can't believe I'm walking down 4 flights of stairs right now to leave this place. And I also had to like, she was like, it's where the exit sign is. And I was like, well, that exit sign just exists here. Like, you wouldn't think that is my exit sign, actually. Right? Yeah. Like, that's just like the legal exit sign.
Yeah, I would probably think that was the exit.
I don't know because you're in, most of the time you're in warehouses.
Yeah.
Like almost everywhere where there's a show, you're in a warehouse. And so there's like, it's unconventional. You're like, I don't know, like where I barely
and
know
that's
where
like where the servers were coming out of. Like it definitely didn't.
Crazy.
I'm just being the unpopular opinion.
That's good. It's good to be the unpopular opinion. Yeah, but departure is just important as arrival because the way people come is super important, but the last thing they're going to remember is the way that they leave, you know? So you just want to have attention to those details. And again, just to kind of like wrap this up and like go over things, this isn't a knock on Berta per se. Again, they don't miss. However, the designs far exceed the experience for the show this year.
Yeah, and I think that, like, obviously us as wedding and event planners, I probably had a way more of a critical eye than a lot of people in that room.
Yeah, the photographer.
The photographer had a critical eye, but he had a critical eye in his sense of, like, I'm here to take content of your designs, and I don't feel like I could get all the designs.
I couldn't get it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, like, he didn't say about the lighting and the exit, and you know what I mean? Like, that's just, like, where my brain goes because we do specialize in guest experience.
I have one thing that I need to say. Sorry, I know we're like
Speak your truth, queen.
About guest like exiting, and then also just in general, lighting is so important. Like I feel like so many times we hear about, you know, like a black tie wedding, and then there's not like lighting pointed at a seating chart, and guests are using their phone and trying to find their names and stuff. And I feel like same with like leaving, like there should always be like light directed towards like path lighting. So I feel like that's something that's really important too, that often gets overlooked here.
I think people also forget that like on the topic of lighting, it seems like such a like small thing, last minute thought, whatever. It is so impactful to like the drama. Like at Galia, like there's no spotlight on, and then she's like walking over to it, and it's kind of trailing her a little bit, but then she walks on the platform and the spotlight comes on as the dramatic music hit. It's like, whoa. Like it gives you like that feeling in that moment, and I was focused on that dress so much more. I don't even know if I loved it the most, but like I was focused on that dress so much because of the like way that the drama and the music and the whole thing made me feel. I think people forget about that. Yeah, a lot. Like having to convince our bestie, Miss Rachel, that she does in fact need lighting because it will affect the experience, and I cannot have your guests with flashlights on their phone. Lighting. I'll freak out. What?
Yes, you do.
Yes, you do, my love. We love it.
Okay, such good points. Let's go into questions from a DM. So a lot of times we get this question actually. I'm filling out my formal invitations right now, and I'm not sure what attire to add on to it. What is the difference between formal attire and black tie attire? Ladies, do you want to answer?
Well, obviously for the guys, like an actual tux. Formal, I think, is just a little bit more like you want to be in a nice dress, but like it doesn't necessarily need to be like a floor length gown. Yeah. That's kind of my
I feel the same
biggest
way.
takeaway is just like the extent of the nicety of the dress. I would say.
Like suit versus tux.
Yeah.
Ball gown versus cute dress.
Yes. Yeah.
Like, and now I feel like talking about experience. Also think about that when you're deciding between the two.
That's true.
Honestly, in my opinion, I think most weddings should probably be more of a formal attire than a black tie attire. To me, I save black tie for kind of like either a very, very, very elevated wedding, which is obviously also dependent on like the venue that you're at. Like, don't do a black tie in a barn. But I kind of I see them more for like a gala or like things like that. I think it's a little bit more of a like this is a sit down experience. You come here, you have dinner, you sit down, you leave.
Yeah.
A wedding, to me, you have to think about like there is the open dancing portion. Can you dance that much in a huge ball gown?
Right.
We're talking about like food stations and stuff. Like there probably is going to be like a late night snack moment. Like you as the bride are going to have an outfit change most likely for your after hours party where it's no longer black tie. Your guests are not outfit changing.
Right.
So like they are still trying to get down with the get down in their big ball gown that they can't move in.
And like you don't want to like somebody to be like, dang, I can't believe I bought this dress for that.
Yeah.
Oh, that
you know
would
what I
be
mean?
Terrible.
Because I feel like when we have to buy outfits, like sometimes we have to get like nicer like dresses and things like that. It's like, okay, like you know it's gonna be worth it to like be well dressed, but if the experience is not matching what you're wearing, it's like, ooh.
Yeah, I wish I would have saved it.
Yeah, I wish I would have saved it.
Yeah.
So good. All right. Well, thanks so much for walking down the aisle with us. Join us here every Tuesday as we talk about all things weddings. If you want to hear more, tune into Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Play, and subscribe to The Aisle. Be sure to give us a 5-star rating and a positive review. We'll talk to you later.
Bye.